Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Abhishek, do you want to do the Gita Dhyana shlokas, please?
So, Guruji, actually, I'm at the airport, so
Okay,
it's slightly
okay,
difficult to
okay.
do from
Perfect.
here.
Parthada.
First time somebody is joining from the airport.
No,
Good,
I think
very good.
I think Raghuji has done that before. If I remember right,
But
Raghuji has
not
done
from
that before.
airport.
No,
From
from the
abroad
airport.
he has attended.
No,
From
from the
airport.
airport.
Maybe I was not there in that. Okay.
Anyway.
अर्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायीं भगवद्गीते भवदेशिनीं नमस्तुते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन तया भारततैलपूर्णो प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयो प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तत्र वित्रैकपा ज्ञानमुद्राय सर्वोपनिषद्गावदुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थवत्सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटजयद्रथो जला गन्धारनीलोत्पला शल दुर्योधनवर्तिनी क्षुत्तिर्न खलु पाण्डवैरनदी वैवर्तककेशवः पराशर्यवचशर्यं मलं गीतार्थगन्धो उत्कटं नानक्कनक्केशरं हरिकथा सम्बुधनबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहोरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भवद्भारतपङ्कजं कुलिमलो प्रध्वंसेन श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पुङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुत स्तुन्नन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषद्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानवस्थितो तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यशन्तं न विदुषुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Om Harihi Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Harihi Om. So we were at verse number 27, where he says, Vaktrani te tvaramana vishanti damshtakaralani bhayanakani kechid vilagna dashanantareshu sandrishyante churniteir uttamangaihi. So he's seeing these crushing of the heads and so on, and that is happening. Any thoughts, any manan that has been done till now, which we want to discuss? Otherwise, We will move on to verse number 28 to 31 in one go.
I will say,
Hmm.
actually, we have to do Manan on 26 and 27 both
Hmm.
together.
Correct.
But I think focus is on 27. I jotted down the thinking like this, that Arjun is now seeing the annihilation of his own enemies, whom he was not willing to kill, which we saw in chapter 1. Now, now it becomes clear to Arjun that all of them, all those relatives, these gurus, whatever, they are all destined to be consigned to the jaws of death. That is one. Now, it also dawned on him that he was the cause for that destruction, having participated at the impending war, which he was not willing to do. He will be a mere medium in that process of annihilation. As Lord Krishna said in, I think, chapter 2, that Atman is neither born nor killed, it is immortal. So now this eternal truth became vivid to Arjuna while he is witnessing the Vishwarupa of Sri Krishna. Now Arjuna has no doubt in his mind that even if the body is slain, the Atman is unharmed and does not cease to be. So that's what I think it dawned on him very loud and clear.
Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts? Yeah.
So I think that's a very nice insight that Parthuda has presented. I also looked at these, and it basically the inevitability of destruction. At the same time, its essentiality for the next construction is becoming evident. So what this is doing to Arjuna is he's starting to realize that there is no point in vesting emotions in this process of destruction, creation, or whatever that's happening. This is going on, and he can see it happening, even though it yet to happen. Time has vanished. He's seeing it happening, and then he starts to realize, what is it are we doing? When it's all the Vishwarupa. That is the permanence. That is what we have to be after. These things come and go. It is all part of the play. So I think, like you said, it's dawning on him that actually it probably dawns on him even now that even if he didn't do anything, that's going to happen. He is just a tool. If that tool doesn't work, some other tool will be used.
So yeah, very nice. So if you look at Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, chapter 5, we clearly see over there that, in the third chapter of Karma Yoga, we are saying set a goal, forget the goal after that, and work on the process. Then he says in chapter 4, he says, concentrate only on the process and forget the goal completely. Don't even think of the goal. In chapter 5, he goes on even further and says that forget the process. It should just happen automatically. It is happening. I am not doing. Correct? We looked at all of that in chapter 5. He's coming back on that entire circle. No longer at a microcosmic level, but now at a macrocosmic level. See, that is the difference between chapter 5 and chapter 11. 6 chapters later, there is this difference is the microcosm has been expanded into the macrocosm. And in the macrocosm, he's saying things are happening. You are not the doer. Right? Naham kartaram, naham. So we say that, right? When we do the changing of the sacred thread on Rakhi Purnima. So I am not the person who is doing. I am not the person who is angry. I am not the person who is getting into desire. So when we say it, it becomes you have to do that kamo karashita jabam 1,000 times. You are all the time looking at the watch, thinking, how fast can I do it? How fast can I do it? Very beautifully, it was taught taught very, very powerfully by a contemporary of Ramana Maharshi, a mystic saint of Tiruvannamalai, called Sheshatri Swamigal. And he was a mystic. He was not an Advaiti. He was not like Ramana Maharshi. He was purely a mystic. We don't know his antecedents. We don't know where he came from. We don't know how and suddenly he took samadhi. So all of that is there. He used to be somebody who used to, miracles used to just keep happening around him. Apparently, even now, people go to his samadhi and then come back experiencing certain miracles. So Sheshatri Swamigal didn't wear a thread and all that. Suddenly, one day, he decided to wear the thread. And one day, on the day of the changing of the sacred thread, he sat down to do the japa, Kamokarashita japa. And as he was doing the Kamokarashita, the Pandits came and asked him, "What are you doing?" So he said, "Kamokarashita japa. Why are you doing it? It is only this japa that is important. Gayatri is not important. Because the moment I do this japa, what am I saying? I am no longer the doer of any of the actions that I have done in my entire life. That complete disconnect from body, mind, intellect is what this. We do it, or we do things mechanically. So anyway, so that's a good manan. Let's move on to verse number 28 and 29. Together we will do these. Yatha nadinam bahuvombuvegaha. Yatha nadinam bahuvombuvegaha. Samudramevabhimukhadраvanti. Samudramevabhimukhadраvanti. Yatha nadinam bahuvombuvegaha. Samudramevabhimukhadраvanti. Tatha tavami naralokavira. Tatha tavami naralokavira. Vishanti vaktranyabhi vijwalanti. Okay, sorry. Vaktrani abhivijwalanti. Vishanti vaktranyabhi vijwalanti. Tatha tavami naralokavira. Vishanti vaktranyabhi vijwalanti. Yatha nadinam bahuvombuvegaha samudrameva Mukhadраvanti. Tatha tavami naralokavira. Vishanti vaktranyabhivijwalanti. Yatha pradiptam jwalanam pratanga. Yatha pradiptam jwalanam patanga. Vishanti nashaya samuddravegaha. Vishanti nashaya samriddhavegaha. Yatha pradiptam jwalanam patanga. Vishanti nashaya samriddhavegaha. Tathaiva nashaya vishanti loka. Tathaiva nashaya vishanti loka. Swapi vaktrani samriddhavegaha. Tatha nashaya vishanti loka. Swavapi vaktrani samriddhavegaha. Tatha yatha pradiptam jwalanam patanga. Vishanti nashaya samriddhavegaha. Tathaiva nashaya vishanti lokas. Tvapi vaktrani samriddhavegaha. He says, Yatha nadinam bahavo ambuvega. Bahavo ambuvega. Yatha nadinam bahavo ambuvega. Yatha bahavo means many. Ambuvega, water waves. Ambu is water. Waves, vegaha. So just exactly as the rivers, they go and merge into samudramevabhimukhadраvanti. They rush, dravanti, flowing rapidly into the waters of the sea. Similarly, Tatha tavami naraloka vira, all these naraloka vira, all these brave kings, these kings of the whole human society, what are they doing? They are rushing into your flaming mouths. Now he goes on to explain this further with even another analogy, another comparison. He's saying, Yatha pradiptam jwalanam patanga. We have seen this, right? The moths or these small insects that come out after the monsoon, they just rush into the flame. So that similarly, he's giving another example saying, Vishanti nashaya samudravega. Now, what is important here? Tatheva nashaya vishanti loka stavapi vaktrani samriddha vega. Into your mouth, these people are all rushing and getting destroyed. Now, at this stage, even now, he is not seeing this as merger. He is seeing this as destruction. And that is important for us to understand. Right? He is not seeing this as merger. He is seeing this as destruction. Yes, of course, this destruction may be something that will cause another construction, may happen, there will be another cycle, may or may not happen. He doesn't know that. Right? Yes, I'll come back to you, Raghuji. So now, therefore, he uses the word nashaya. He uses the word nashaya. So he's seeing this as destruction, and therefore he's still in that state of being terrified. He's still in the state of being awestruck. Right? Yes, Raghuji.
Isn't there an incoherence here? In the previous verse, he talks about rivers rushing in the ocean. He should know that is merging. That is merging. That's not, you don't say the river is destroyed. The river merges into the ocean.
So very interesting. There is a very interesting, I have forgotten the name of the poet who used this. It talks of the river when it is approaching the ocean, it shivers, right? And
yes,
is afraid.
It's a Parsi poet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I've forgotten, very famous, or possibly Rumi, I don't know. But I've forgotten. I've read this it's very powerful, right? But then ultimately, driven by the force of nature, driven by the force of its own nature, right? Driven by our own rajas, tamas, and sattva, the merger is inevitable. The merger is inevitable. Depending upon the, you should look for this. You do a Google Earth search on your laptop and look for the mouth of the Amazon. And you will see that the Amazon water does not merge into the ocean for almost 10-15 kilometers. It is fresh water, right in the middle of the ocean. It's completely fresh water. Because of the volume. See, it depends upon our vasanas, isn't it? How if we have so many vasanas that when you go into the ocean also, the ocean cannot absorb you. And it will throw you back. Right? When we look around, nature itself is there to teach us Advaita Vedanta. And we see this, right? Because of the Amazon has this huge force. And that force, it does not allow the merger. But you go to Ganga Sagar, by the time it has touched Ganga Sagar, the water has already become saline. Right? By the time it has entered into the holy land of Bengal, I call it holy land because 17 of the 51 Pitas of Mother are in West Bengal alone. So, and if you include East and West Bengal, then 27 of the 51 are in just these two parts of the country. So, even just as she enters, Ganga enters this, she starts splitting up and taking away all the energy of that tamas that is there, and the sattvic flow starts. And so she welcomes the ocean. And therefore there is a tide that comes. And it takes her, and the tide takes her into the ocean with open arms. Difference of behavior between Ganga and Amazon, very clearly we can see. Right? On one hand, you have huge rajas, and the other, there is sattva. How that person will merge. Similarly here, where is Arjuna operating from? He is extremely a rajasic person. He has a lot of activity. And therefore, getting rid of that fear of merger is also very difficult. Right? So, here he says, Nashaya. Then we move to 30 and 31, we will do together again. 30 and 31 are, for Gurudev, there used to be very funny verses. They used to say that whenever he looks at them, especially during the last few, he used to give this example. And whenever he would come to Bombay, he would give the example. In Maharashtra, he would give the example. I will explain that. He'll tell you his example. He says, Leli yase grasamana samanta, Leli yase grasamana samanta, Lokan samagra Lokan samagran vadanejvaladbhihi. Lokan samagran vadanejvaladbhihi. Leli yasigrasamana samantal. Lokan samagran vadanejvaladbhihi. तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत् समग्रम् तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत् समग्रम् भासास्तवोग्रः प्रतपन्ति विष्णौ भासस्तवाग्रौ प्रतपन्ति विष्णौ तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत् समग्रम् भासस्तवाग्रौ प्रतपन्ति विष्णौ लेलिह्यसे ग्रसमान समन्तान् लोकान् समग्रान् वदनेज्वलद्भिः तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत् समग्रम् भासस्तवाग्रौ प्रतपन्ति विष्णौ. Lelihyase, it's he is licking. So you see, in the earlier verse, we saw that he has people sticking into his teeth, right? And now, if you have food sticking into your tooth, how will you remove it? So you will have to put out your tongue and you will have to lick and bring them back, right? So Gurudev used to use the example, and later on, Puja Guruji, further in time, since with Gurudev, McDonald's wasn't so very famous comparatively. With Puja Guruji, that became more famous. With Gurudev, he used to give the example of saying vada pav. So you take a big piece of vada pav and you stuff it into your mouth. And then what happens? You have to chew it. So there will be pieces stuck over. Then you go with your tongue and then he would very graphically explain how the tongue is moving and licking everything and pulling it back. And we would be all laughing. And suddenly he would say, now just imagine you are there. With that graphic description, you actually get transported there. And then the shock comes. Right? The whole process, it is so natural to see. He's using very beautiful natural examples. Vyasadeva, he's using very beautiful natural examples. He used the example of the patanga, he's using the example of the river, he's using the example of our own mouth, how we behave. So he's actually telling us that this process of cycle of destruction is actually natural by using these sort of examples. And then he's also saying that your glory, it is that which is actually shining across this entire world, and it is showing how this world shines. What does he say in Mundaka Upanishad? So, yes, Raghuji?
In the this one thing that I kind of sometimes remind myself. See, the very act, we see we are eating maybe vegetarian food and all that. I'm not killing anything. Excuse me. You've already killed to get to that point. However, even as you're eating it, there are a million germs and bacteria on it, which are all coming in and getting crushed and going in. Some of them going in alive and part of your interior biome. It is amazing amount of destruction that is happening in the very simple act of eating. Okay. And we never think about it because we cannot see it. Because we can't see it, it is out of sight, out of mind.
So, which was actually the argument that Jains used to use. So, but the whole idea of vegetarianism and ahimsa, one of the very important things about this whole thing about ahimsa and Gandhiji is that if you read his book, My Experiments with Truth, he very clearly says that he discovered the principles of ahimsa in the Bhagavad Geeta. And I am at a complete loss as to how he managed that. Because at no point in the entire Gita is inaction propounded. So his principle of ahimsa coming from the Gita, I don't know. I mean, I genuinely, I'm not saying that I am an expert on Gandhi's philosophy or Gandhi's studying of Gandhi's philosophies in various places. But essentially, you see, it's open to interpretation in many ways. So I will not get into that. See, right now, what he's saying here, that this entire universe is glowing because of you. Tapanti, pratapanti, prakarshena tapanti. Right? It is glowing, it is being warmed. Why? Because of you, O Vishnu. Vishnu, we have seen why he uses the word Vishnu. See, Mundakupanishad very beautifully says, न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम नेमा विद्युतो भांति कुतो यम अग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति न तत्र सूर्यो भाति the sun cannot shine there na chandra na tarakam neither the stars nor the moon nema vidyuto bhanti the lightning cannot illumine what about this small flame that I am sitting in my hand so when the aratrika is done the Vedic mantra that is used for the aratrika is this that even this aratrika that I am doing, I am trying to show you some light. Because tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, because of the glow of your glow, everything is glowing. It is your glow that is making everything go. Tasya bhasa, because you glow, sarvamidam vibhati, everything else glows. That is the spirit that Arjuna is actually now trying to come back and tell us. That is the spirit that he is seeing over here. And therefore, in verse number 31, he is actually now terrified and he's now making a prayer. He's making a prayer. And the prayer, typically not in Chinma Mission, but in many other places, when this particular verse is chanted, the tone and the tune of this verse is changed into something which is very pleading. आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्र रूपो नमोस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद right so आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्र रूपो नमोस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यं नहि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम् नहि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम् आख्याहि मे को भवानुग्र रूपो नमोस्तु ते देववर प्रसीद विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यं नहि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम् आख्यानम means to recite, to tell. So he says, tell me, me. Ko, who? Bhavan is you. Bhavan. Respectfully, when somebody is addressed, you say Bhavan, right? So, Ko Bhavan. So, then the answer would be Samir Namaham. Right? Ko Bhavan, who are you? So, here he's saying Samir Namaham. Similarly, here he's asking Akhya hi me ko Bhavan. Ugra Rupo. Who are you of this fierce form? Namostute Devavara Prasida. Prasida means give me prasada. Right? Give me prasada. Be pleased. Prasida. Be pleased. So, Devi, whenever she is worshipped in the form of Chandi, the word prasida is used a lot of times. So, because she is very fierce. So you keep on saying, no. The Mahishasur is over there. Don't use your weapons on me. So be pleased, right? So you think, who are you of this fierce form? Please be pleased. Vigyatum ichhami. Vigyatum, I want to know. Ichhami, I wish to know. Vigyatum ichhami. Bhavan, you, bhavantam. Adyam, your beginning. Nahi, not, and na, he. Prajanami, I cannot understand. Tava pravrittim, your workings. So, I do not know you. I don't know how you work. I don't know where you are coming from. So can you please explain? I am unable to fathom you. This huge form, I am unable to fathom you. Right? If you are in the middle of the ocean on a small raft, identified with that raft as me and my own small kingdom, then one of the questions you might want to ask the ocean is, who are you and where are you going to take me? Where do you end? Where do you start? What are these huge waves that are coming? Where do they come from? Right? These are questions that you would ask if you are that small body floating in the middle of the ocean. Same thing is he's asking. And now Bhagavan uses a very powerful verse made very famous by Oppenheimer in the movie. It is said that he actually said this. I don't know whether true or false. So he says, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Kalosmi Loka Kshayakrit Pravriddho, Kalosmi Loka Kshayakrit Pravriddho, Lokan Samahartumiha Pravrittaha, Lokan Samahartumiha Pravrittaha, Kalosmi Loka Kshayakrit Pravriddho, Lokan Samahartumiha Pravrittaha, Ritepi Tvam न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे, ऋतेपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे, येव स्थिताः प्रत्यनिकेषु योद्धाः, येव स्थिताः प्रत्यनिकेषु योद्धाः, ऋतेपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे, येव स्थिताः प्रत्यनिकेषु योद्धाः. श्रीभगवानुवाच कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृतप्रवृद्धो, लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः, ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे, येव स्थितः प्रत्यनिकेषु योद्धाः. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan says, Kala. Kala is interpreted in two ways. Oppenheimer translates it in his famous saying, I have become death. Right? But here, the word we understand, Kala, could be death, but it could also be time. I have become time. Kalosmi. Kala means time, which is why we call Shiva Mahakala, great time. Right? He who is transcended the time. Right? He has transcended time. So therefore, he says, Kalosmi. I am Kala. Kala Asmi. I am Kala. Lokakshaya Krit. Krit. The cause or the doer of what? Lokakshaya. I am the cause of the destruction of these worlds. Pravriddha, mighty. Mighty. Lokan, worlds. Samahartum, haranam. Haranam, to destroy. Samyak rupena hartum. Samahartum, completely destroyed. Annihilation. Iha, this. Pravrittaha, participation. Rite, rite means without. Tvam, you. Api, rite api, even without your participation, na bhavishyanti, shall cease to exist. Right? Na bhavishyanti, sarve, all. Ye, these, avasthitaha, those who are arranged over here, avasthitaha, prati anikeshu, right? Prati, in our side, anikeshu, opposite side, in all the yodhaha, the warriors in both sides, none of them are going to survive. My job is destruction. Is it really destruction? Is Ishvara that which destroys? Oh, Ishvara is that which destroys, but he also then by default creates. Right? Sarga, Pratisarga, Laya. All three. Where do they come from? They come from him, in him. They come from him, in him. And again, that same process is being repeated over here in verse number 33, that he says, therefore, get up and start fighting. No ahimsa here. He says, tasmat uttishta yashola bhasva. So, while I am actually doing everything, yashola bhasva, go and gain your material world. Gain whatever you want to do in this material world. Your temporary fame that you will get, please go, get it. So he says, Tasmat uttishta yashola bhasva, jitva shatrun bhungshvarajyam samriddham, jitva shatrun bhungshvarajya samriddham, tasmat uttishta yashola bhasva, jitva shatrun bhungshvarajyam samriddham, Maye vete nihatah purvameva. Maye vete nihatah purvameva. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. Nimittamatram bhava savyasachin mayye vete nihata purvameva. Nimittamatram bhava savyasachin tasmat uttishta yasho labhasva chitva satrung bhungshvarajyam samriddham mayye vete nihata purvameva. Nimittamatram bhava savyasachin. Savyasachin. Savya is left. Apasavya is right. Right? So he is left-handed. He was actually ambidextrous. So therefore he is called Savyasachin. So both he could use both the left hand and the right hand. Using the name Savyasachin indicates that go and fight with both your hands. Go and fight with both your hands. And he says, Tasmat, therefore, Tasmat, Uttishta, get up, Yashalabhasva, attain your honor, Jitva, conquer, Shatrun, Bhungshva, enjoy, Bhungshva, to enjoy this kingdom, Rajyam, Samriddham, prosperous. Make this kingdom prosperous and enjoy it. Maye vete nihata purvameva. All of these people here, everyone here, has already been killed by me. Nimittamatram, become the instrument. Right? Eva nimittamatram, only an instrument. Be only an instrument. Sri Ram Prasad has a beautiful song in Bengali. He says, Hakoli tomari ichha, ichha moi tara tumi, tomar korbo tumi koro ma, loke bole kori ami. Hakoli tomari ichha. Everything is your wish. Ichha moi tara tumi. You are, oh great mother Tara. You do your work. People say, I am doing. In that, he uses another analogy. He says that I am the Rath. Ami Ratha, tumi Rothi. Ami Jantra, tumi Jontri. I am the instrument, you are the instrumenter. If there is a word like that. Right? I am the chariot, you are the charioteer. But Yogananda Paramahansa's favorite song. This used to be his favorite song. And I mean, given any opportunity, he would start singing this. This is a beautiful song. It puts, I mean, when we look at chapter 12 again, we will come back and visit this particular song. But look at the declaration that he's saying. You and I, we are all instruments of Ishvara. We think that because of our ego that we are doing. And especially whenever there are good things happening, it is we who do it. And whenever there is something bad that happens, then you say, fate. Right? Fate. Or you say, my prarabdha. Or you say, oh, this has happened because of... So we know that story, right? I have told this story, I think, a number of times of the farmer, of the person who had a beautiful garden. And the garden, the cow came and ate, the bull came and ate the flowers. So when he hit the bull died. When the bull died, everybody came to him. So, you have killed the bull. So what does the Purushan Suktam say? Bale indragam stitaha. Bale indragam. Bala means hands. Indragam stitaha. Indra stays in the hands. I killed with the hands, you are saying. Indra has killed. Then he grew the beautiful garden back. Indra came in the form of an old man and asked, who made this? I made this. Really? How? With my own hands. With my own hands. No, but your hands are owned by Indra, you said. See, whenever we do something good, some good result comes, oh, I did it. So hence he is saying, you may go and win the war. Be careful. You may win the war. You may gain a lot of material wealth. You may become very famous. All of that also has happened. Why? Because I did it. You haven't done anything there. So don't sit with your head heavy, right, with your ego and say, I did it. Right? Yes, Raghuji.
So this is again addressing that earlier thing that you said about ahimsa and not being in the Bhagavad Gita. And I just asked this question, what is himsa? See, if a landslide happens and the house is washed away and people are killed, is that himsa? You don't call it himsa. If, see, when there is a kartritva bhava and you say, I am doing it for this reason, I'm going to kill you, that is himsa. When what Gandhiji realized is, if the action is done without attachment, it is done because the action has to be done. He resisted. He brought down the mightiest empire purely by resisting. And, this is ahimsa because he doesn't take attachment to that action. It's an action that should be done, so he's doing it. That he is purely an instrument. So in that sense, it is ahimsa, but he's still acting.
So when we will get to the Aparokshanubhuti next session, next Saturday, we will examine this, because we will be possibly starting off with somewhere near, number 100. And over there, actually we are at somewhere around 94, 95 in that particular session. And the next few verses are very, very rough, fast-moving summarization leading to verse number 100. Right. Over there, I'm sorry, I'm digressing from our class here to yesterday. What should have happened yesterday is that those few he goes back to all the old examples that he talks about. The ghost in the post, the rope in the snake, and the snake in the rope, and so on and so forth. And he jumps to verse number 100, where he says, here are 15 methods to arrive at aparoksha anubhuti. 15 methods. He gives us 15 methods. And those 15 methods, now we can't, then Samir, why did you not start with 100th verse? Methods are already there. Why did we have to do 100 verses to understand? Was the same reason as to why Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja is only at the end. The last line that he says. If I understand that, then can I omit the rest of the entire 699 shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita? Of course you can. Will you understand it if you don't understand the 699? That is where the problem lies. Hence, we have to go through all that 100, right, 99 shlokas. And he gives that. Over there, he talks of the fact that one of the methods is ahimsa, is yama. 15 methods. One of the methods he talks about is yama. When he talks about yama, one of the yamas is ahimsa. Right? And we shall examine this. Right? We shall examine this because it's very important. He talks of asteya, he talks of brahmacharya, yama. Right? There are 5 yamas, there are 5 niyamas. All those 5 yamas that we will have to examine them because they are very, very powerful in the way in which we lead our day-to-day life also. So, coming back to this particular, he says in verse number 33, he tells, get up and start working. You may get a lot of fame. You may get a lot of name. You may get a lot of prosperity. You may get a lot of victory. Remember, you are not the cause. I have already done this for you. And then in the next verse, and this is going to be our manan, in the next verse, he says, Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadhratam cha, Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadhratam cha, Karnam tathananyan api yodha viran, Karnam Karnam tathanyanapi yodha viran, Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadhratam cha, Karnam tathanyanapi yodha viran, Maya hatam stvam jahima vyathishta. See this line. Maya hata stvam jahima vyathishta. Yuddhasvajeta rane sapatnan. Yuddhasvajeta rane sapatnan. Maya hatam stvam jahimam vyathishta. Yuddhasvajeta rane sapatnan. द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथान्यानपि योधवीरान् मया हतास्त्वं जहिमा व्यथिष्ठा युध्यस्वजेतासि रणे सपत्नान् द्रोणं भीष्मं जयद्रथं कर्णं. All of these names he gives. Tatha Anyan, others also Yodha Veeran, brave warriors. Maya Hatas, my Hatan, right? Maya Hatam Stvam. Hatam Stvam. Maya Hatam Stvam. My by me killed. Stvam Jahi. Jahi means killed, right? Ma, not. Vyatishtaha. Don't be disturbed. Now go back to verse number 1. Chapter number 1. I am disturbed that I am going to kill. The answer has come after so many verses. Yeah, Krishna is a very useless guy. He just can't answer straight. Yes, Patada.
I'll just ask one question before ending the session. I am stuck with this Amazon example. That really struck a chord in me. Is it possible then that some of us are already into the divine, being at this stage, we are not able to realize that? It could be because of our prarabdha, because of our being born into a good family, because of the good work we have done, whatever it is, because of the good company in which we are. So, but still we are not into the divine. We can't really break free. So how that will happen? Is it again that millions of births, or you need a guru who will make us break free? How does it happen? You know, this kind of joy, give my experience. Sometimes that kind of a joy comes. Don't know from where that is coming, but it is not long-lived. Wish it was long-lived. It generally becomes short-lived. So now when Amazon, knows that, Are bhai, I am already into Pacific, why worry? So what is the answer?
So, Krishna will answer this. You don't have to wait for me to answer. Krishna will answer this. You have to wait for firstly 1 more chapter and then 6 more chapters. And the answer is there. Right? The answer is very clearly there. The answer is very clearly there. Because, see, Arjuna is going to ask the same question. Right? You and I are Arjuna. We are going to ask the same question. And, I mean, you may be named by Arjuna's charioteer, but see, the first part of the name is how we call you. We only call you Partha. We don't call you Partha Sarathi. Right? So you are also Arjuna. So in that Arjun state that we are in, he also has the same question. Then find, okay, I have understood this, but then what? How do I get there? How do I get there? Right? You even showed me Ishvara, but how do I get there? Correct? One part of the answer has already been given. In earlier chapter, he has given us an answer depending upon our predilection. He says, if you are predominantly sattvic in your thinking and your behavior, then the slightest gust of wind will remove the smoke and put the fire out, make the fire leap up. Right? We have seen that. If you are predominantly rajasic in nature, which means you are still attached to karma, you are attached to the results of the karma, then cleaning the mirror is how it works. That means a lot of effort will have to happen. But if I am predominantly tamasic, I'll have to wait for the time that it will happen. Ulbayana, he says, right? He says it is like the fetus in the womb. It will take its time to come out. So, what is in my hand? What is Purushartha? The Purushartha is the very clear thing here, is that the next moment of choice is yours. And you choose whether I'm going to be tamasic or whether I'm going to be sattvic. See, good that you raised it. I call this, you know what, I call this spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing. Bypassing means doing something and using spiritual words to explain what you are doing, but what you are doing is actually out of laziness, right? I don't get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't do my meditation, right? And when you're asked, why don't you do it? So I then give a very nice answer saying, what will meditation do? I am Brahman already. So meditation is not going to make me Brahman. Now, by giving this answer, actually, am I saying this from my experiential truth, or am I saying this because I am in tamas and I am using tamasic logic to overcome an argument, right? So, by doing this, the spiritual bypassing that you are doing. So, I had a friend of mine who was quite drunk at one point of time, and he was so later on when he became sober, and I told him that I don't think that was the right thing to do to get so drunk. He said, no. You see, my body was drunk. I was only the witness to the drinking. Perfect example of spiritual bypassing. Right? So spiritual bypassing won't help. It's your choice. It's your choice. The next moment, am I going to be pushing myself to become sattvic, or will I let myself go and therefore become tamasic? Because becoming tamasic, you don't have to become tamasic. You will automatically get into tamas. Tamas is inertia, right? All science says that ultimately that is the state of rest. You are going to be in inertia. So now he says that Maya hatam stvam jahima vyathishta. Don't get disturbed. Yudhyasva jeta asi. Jeta asi. You shall be victorious in battle. Sapatnan, by defeating all your enemies. And Gurudev used to say, so now get up and strive. Because he has already given you the guarantee that you will defeat your enemies. But you have to get up. You have to do that. You will have to string the bow. I have done it for you. But you have to manifest it. In your own life, you have to manifest it. Gurudev's example here explanation here is very beautiful. He says, what Krishna is saying is that the Atman is ever pure. It has neither killed nor ever destroyed, nor has it done anything that is going to cause any harm to anyone. It is already told us in chapter 2 itself that he does not kill, he does not get killed, right? And so on and so forth. He's going back to that particular truth at a universal macrocosmic level and saying it is not that you are going to do anything. You are already pure, you are already perfect, you have already killed your enemies. You are not conquered by your enemies of Hataripu, Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya. It has not conquered you. You can conquer them. Get up and start working on them. That is the importance of this particular verse. When he says, Altam stvam jahi yathishta, don't get disturbed by the fact that you are getting angry. Fight against it. Because I have already made you pure. You are already pure. You are already sat. You are already chit. You are already ananda. So get up and work towards it. You asked whether do you need a guru? Here, your guru has given the statement. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramartanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Jagadguru has given the answer to you. Do you need another guru? He is there. He's already given you then the guru, what will he do? Gurudev also used to say, I am the signpost. He has given you the mantra. But who will do the striving? The striving you have to do. Right? I want you to look at the 4 names, Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha and Karna, and try and get the backstories of these people, and let us see which of the internal enemies do they actually represent. Which of these internal enemies do they actually represent? right? That's our beautiful manan. So you will get a bit of storytelling insights also. So look at something. What does Drona signify? Why does he not say Drishtadumna and Satyaki and whoever else, other kings that were there on their side? He could have named them also, because both sides, everybody was killed by him. Instead of that, he names these four very specifically. Not Gurudev, but some other commentators have given beautiful answers to this particular question. So you can do your manan and we'll work from there. Let us end. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Just this is actually